Ooh. Hmm.
We'll see what happens. Setting up our meeting. Oh, there we are.
Ooh.
And there we are.
All righty.
Yeah, so what
Good
do you think?
weekend, folks, or at least weekend folks.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not okay.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm I'm not okay.
No.
I'm pissed, but my focus is been trying to focus on like anticipating real life solvable problems, at least for my neighborhood and
Yeah.
my community.
Hmm.
We've been spent the week going around, talking to our neighbors and working to organize, um, gardens in our immediate neighborhood on that side of the house, or that side of the house, and then also in the abandoned lot on that side of the house, so that, we can make sure when, prices inevitably skyrocket and shelves are empty because Trump's,
Tariffs.
imposed,
And
tariffs
all
on
the people are
places.
gone and there's no one to pick any food and
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can, you know,
it's very
have
proactive of you.
it's either that or go crazy.
I'm in that camp.
Yeah.
Because this week has been so much, not just on this front, but in Holland this earlier, or right before the weekend, there was like a mass like attack on like a bunch of like Jewish people in the city.
Hmm.
Um,
Where, what city do you know?
Amsterdam,
In Amsterdam.
in Amsterdam.
Mhm.
Now it's coming out like now, and I think a lot of people knew about it. Yeah, knew that this was the case beforehand, but that it was something that was pre-planned. But the media, the left-wing media, is trying to blame it on like football hooligans, tearing down a Palestinian flag and like chanting like racist ass bullshit, um, going into the game. But like we have like WhatsApp group like messages showing that they had pre-planned it, how they used Uber, um, the Uber app to, find this stuff, to help plan it. They knew where these people's hotels were, like already, um, like all kinds of stuff. They knew that Israel had not messaged, but like communicated to the Dutch government weeks in advance that this was going to happen on at least three separate occasions, warning them.
And who was the attack against exactly?
The like Jews in the city broadly,
Right.
Jews and Israelis broadly, but specifically targeting, in at least initially, um, football fans, like Jewish football fans.
Right, because I thought you said they'd taken down a Palestinian flag, or what was
This
that
was
all?
like, I guess one
Intentionally? What's the deal?
one person had like or done something like that, like, and there's like a video of it like from early in the day.
Right.
Um, like even if everything that they said was the reason was true, it's still not an excuse for mass violence.
Right.
Like, because by that standard, heck, I should be able to go around and beat the shit out of Palestinians and pro-Palestinians wantonly for all of the times this past year they've done and said horrible things.
Right. I'm not catching the analogy because I don't know enough about the event. I think it is like I don't quite understand what happened. I'm sorry.
Well,
Could we review what happened?
so,
Okay, that's fine.
I
So
mean,
I'm
do you
just looking
know?
at
I
it.
mean, I don't know. Like
No, if
I asked Steve's looking up something that
got
we
the-
don't know.
I got the Times article anyway.
Well, what does that say?
This is from the 9th, November 9th.
Just
Amsterdam banned demonstrations.
Yesterday, with this
Yeah.
written yesterday.
Banned demonstrations over the weekend under emergency order, mobilized additional police officers after what city officials described as anti-Semitic attacks on Israel soccer fans during the week. Order prohibited the wearing of face masks or face coverings, stepped up security at Jewish institutions, gave police the power to stop and search. Violence unfolded over days around a soccer match on Thursday between Ajax, a Dutch team, and Maccabi
Ajax, yeah.
Tel Aviv, an Israeli team. Tensions had mounted a day earlier when Israeli fans vandalized a taxi and burned a Palestinian flag in the city. After the game, people on scooters kicked and beat Israeli fans, sending some to the hospital. Police in Amsterdam detained 62 people.
did you call Amsterdam Amdam?
Amsterdam,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't you call it Amdam?
No.
Oh, I've been there many times. We always called it Amdam.
By Saturday, most have been released. 4 were being held, according to the Dutch police spokeswoman. 4 are all suspected of public violence. And that one is a 26-year-old who's arrested on Friday after the police identified him from CCTV footage. Tensions and building up in the city before Thursday's match. Pro-Palestinian protests were planned for that day. But on Wednesday, Amsterdam's mayor banned demonstrations near the stadium in an effort to stave off violence.
Good job with that.
Yeah.
Videos from Thursday showed Israeli fans shouting anti-Arab chants on the way to the match as the police escorted them near Amsterdam's central train station to ensure their safety amid anger over the Gaza war. One of the chants said, "Why is there no school in Gaza? There are no children left there." The police deployed 800 officers to maintain order during the game. Riot police mounted officers kept pro-Pali groups and Israeli fans apart. The game went ahead without violence, no confrontations in or near the city center. Dutch police said the same, that some people riding scooters had kicked and beat Israeli fans and hit and run attacks on
It
Thursday,
was more than some.
while others pelted them with fireworks. 5 Israelis were hospitalized with injuries, were later discharged. 20 to 30 others sustained light injuries. They said basically Dutch Justice Security Minister acknowledged police have been caught by surprise, carried out by small groups of people rather than the kind of large clashes typically seen after soccer matches.
They were around like 10 to 20 people in each in many of the videos that I saw on one person.
And it says, much to everyone's surprise, what happened was there was kind of a manhunt for individual supporters moving around the city. He said on a talk show Friday, social media appears to have played a role in the attacks. The mayor said at a news conference on Friday, the authorities had seen a rapid spread via Telegram groups. People were discussing hunting Jews, shocking and reprehensible, she said. Hateful discourse and incitement have often spread on the Telegram platform. Played a recent role in riots in Britain, arson at migrant housing centers in Ireland. Telegram said it's improving its procedures
Oh,
and
yeah, for
operations.
sure.
Yeah, I bet they do that the same way that Instagram does and Facebook and Twitter.
Oh yeah. So it said basically the Amsterdam police chief said it was one of the largest deployments we have as Amsterdam police with national assistance and made in a year. Okay, so Amsterdam also commemorating the 6th anniversary of Kristallnacht. Given the anniversary, Amsterdam's mayor is worried about the tensions, but the country's counterterrorism agency did not see any increased specific threats. National threat level has not changed. Justice Minister has ordered an investigation whether there were any warnings from Israeli intelligence before the match. Israel's government concerned about the safety of its citizens warned soccer fans in Amsterdam to stay off the streets and to avoid wearing Israeli or Jewish symbols. Also help arrange flights to bring Israeli citizens home. Their foreign minister from Israel traveled to the Netherlands on Thursday, met with Dutch Justice Minister Geert Wilders, whose anti-Muslim party is the largest party in the Dutch parliament. Series of social media posts. Mr. Wilders has used the clashes to attack what he calls radical Islam and sometimes incendiary language. On the other side of the political spectrum, Stephen Van Barley, the leader of a small pro-immigrant party, blamed the authorities for failing to stop what he called provocations by Israel fans. Where were the
See,
police when Maccabi thugs chanted genocidal racist slogans about Gaza? Amsterdam police say have launched a broad investigation and have asked members of the public to come forward with relevant images and information.
So all
do
those
do
videos
you
that you
see
may have seen. Hmm?
do you see why I made the comparison that I made? You know, they're claiming that, some hooligans chanting obviously disgusting and racist bullshit and tearing down flags is justification for this.
Right, right. The backlash.
And by the same standard, I'm applying the exact same standard. I can go around now and just start beating up random Palestinians and Arabs. I would never do that because it's disgusting to do that. But this is the game that they want to play.
It sounds like to me, and I mean, this is just from what I just heard right now. It sounds like a regular, soccer hooligan-y type shit has gotten appropriated into a Gaza, like a Palestinian-Israeli conflict. It's kind of right. It's kind of like mucked up it sounds like they're saying it wasn't real active terrorism. It doesn't look like that. They haven't changed the level. So it sounds like they're both bad actors, just tensions overrode and it sounds like that.
Except that here's the thing, though. I know for a fact that Israel did warn them that this was
Right. Well,
going.
they're looking into
This
that,
is
obviously.
this was clearly pre-planned.
Right. Well, it's a shame those bad actors gave anybody, it's a shame the soccer hooligans, they're saying that's what it started with now. Like that really sucks.
But to see that's their attempt to blame the victims.
It sounds like it, but when
Is
it's
what
like saying
it,
you started it, and
yeah.
they're like, well, like that was a hooligan, like a hooligan-y type sort of thing overflow. But then again,
But and I'm not saying for like 1 second that
those guys were in the right to
we're
be doing that.
yeah,
But
that like what they
it's like
what
when
they
Antifa
said.
goes and throws when Antifa, one of those guys throws a brick through a building, and we're all like, "What the hell did you do that for?" Now all of us are in trouble, kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that always sucked when there would be a demonstration, and then some idiots
Yeah.
would be out there like, "Ugh," and you're like, "No, no, guy, the camera's going to be on you, and that you're not even one of us. Just get away, stop it," And I feel like that happens a lot on both sides, like some lunatic on the other side just being a disgusting, like, oh, I get to jump in here, and it's just, I don't know. I'm just, yeah, yeah, not not sleeping, not eating. This sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I'm done with democracy. Stupid democracy. Stupid free speech. Shut the, yeah, done with it. Done with it.
I'm not a free speech absolutist by any means.
No.
But I do love free speech, and I'm very, very much a user of it.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like officials, like it's awful. The officials shouldn't be allowed to lie to us. We pay for put them in
No,
these
I agree.
positions. That's
I
fucked
agree.
up.
I agree.
That's fucked up. That's just wrong. That's just insulting. Our found no one who is forming a constitution and talking about free speech starting out the bat would have been like, oh, we have to make a special thing to say don't lie if you're in official position. Like that's just
No, that should be like common fucking sense, the
right.
same way that not yelling fire in a theater is common fucking sense.
Thank you. And then hell, I don't know, Supreme Court, maybe we overlook if you can't find ethics in your book, your rule book that says Supreme Court can't take bribes, then I think that's pretty much an understanding, right? Like I don't think we should err on the side of, well, obviously they have no they owe nothing to no one. Like the readings, like, we're like so off here. I don't even understand half this shit.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. The free speech thing way too far. That so Elon can put millions of dollars into spouting lies on these platforms. I mean, it's just insane. It's just.
But what's happening here is not anything new in the political sense globally. Like we've been seeing like the parties in power have been voted out, often moving to the right, as gross as that
It's
is.
dirty tricks, though. It's dirty pool. That's the thing. This is dirty pool. This is not people moving and being fooled. This is literally being paid. This is people in forms of in leading position in actual powerful positions, deliberately lying, deliberately coordinating. This is
Absolutely.
foreign. Like if
Absolutely.
Russia had been lobbing missiles or poisoning our water system, we would have had recourse. But because it's misinformation, because it's disinformation, because it's money, dark money going into, then we have nothing to, we can't do anything. It doesn't
Didn't
make
they
any sense.
actually try to send like bombs over here or something?
Well, there were bomb threats.
Yes. And then everybody had to leave the voting machines.
No,
Like
I
it's
mean,
crazy. Like it's
I
crazy town.
remember reading something about um them like attempting to smuggle like bombs on like
Hmm.
cargo airplanes,
Yeah.
and at
Wow.
least one of them had to like land somewhere,
Hmm.
or something like that.
Hmm. Wow.
It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And all of it doesn't make sense. So the idea that like a fascist could run in a democracy and be a candidate so that the country can literally change what it's like its basic tenant. It just doesn't make sense. It's like having like a vampire running a blood drive or something. Like you just know, like, I don't think you should be here. Like, or like a rapist, like
No, I
at a
totally
girls'
agree.
camp.
Like I have a hard time understanding the Republicans, rallying around this figure,
They take money. The money's coming from other sources. So I understand why people in power. I didn't even understand why
I'm
Joe
not talking about the
Rogan do it.
people
I
in
see
power.
why Joe Rogan did it.
I'm talking about rank and file, like regular Republicans.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
they're doing it because they hope they get money. I
I
bet.
mean, they had how many? I mean, some of them weren't any better,
No.
Mhm.
but they had at least a better, option than this guy. And then he, what I also don't understand, which is I think why he actually won, is the 15 million or so Democrats who stayed home or voted for him.
You know, we can agree to disagree there. I'm not playing that. I don't know. I don't I think something's fishy. I'm sorry. I'm not usually a conspiracy person, but something's really fishy. Something's really weird. It's the when it was Trump and the last time in 2016, even that was weird, but at least he had massive crowds. He had a bunch of turnout. At least it was the first time. This time, like it really doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry.
I mean, his numbers are overwhelming. He has like
I know the numbers are
4
overwhelming, but that
million
doesn't make
more
any that doesn't
votes
make him right.
than
That doesn't
Harris.
make
Of
him
course,
I
it
don't
doesn't
know.
make
Like I
him
really don't
right.
know. I really don't know. I really don't know at this point. I really don't buy it. I really don't. I don't. The man stood on stage dancing for 40 minutes in the middle of the town hall. He literally said he had a secret that he can't wait to let everybody know after this is all over. Like there's so many signs when a person is mentally disabled, they start losing its inhibition, and he was doing that. So I was turned to see when he did that. I was like, he can't. He must know something we don't know. There's something weird going on. And there's always felt like this is just, I don't know. This is I'm not, it doesn't matter. It's immaterial because even if that happened, then to me, that's like, okay, well, that's the country we have, right? Regardless, we have the government we deserve. But at this point, is this the government we need to stay with? Is this the government that,
Of course,
that
it's not the. Or are
know,
you talking about like overhauling the entire
I'm talking
government?
about moving. I'm talking about I don't want to be here anymore. I'm talking about
Oh,
I
oh,
don't want
oh.
to. I don't like the country anymore at all. And when
I
you know,
agree, and I wish I could, except I have a wife
sure.
who's very stubborn, and I have a house that I just bought,
Oh yeah. No, I'm
you
not
know,
I'm not, yeah, I'm not. I was on Chatbot and I'm like, okay, so
it's
it's a
chatbot.
country such as the modern United States. There's lots
Oh,
of different
the
ways a
AI.
country can be authoritarian. So how would this happen? And it kind of is giving me scenarios and like where does a person, like, who is safe? Because authoritarian governments aren't necessarily dangerous for everybody. If you look a certain way, if you have enough of a certain background and resources, you'll be fine. In fact, you might enjoy the trains running more averagely. You might enjoy cleaner streets and not seeing homeless people around because they've all been taken care of and are being eaten or something. I don't know. But I'm just saying,
I'm not
how
down
does
for
one
throwing
break
away.
down the stresses of living that way and looking the other way while this happens with the risk of getting involved at some point where your neighbor is going to go like, hey, I don't like you, so I'm going to tell people that you're doing something so that, like, when does that start? And it was really
It's
interesting.
already started.
Right. Well, how empowered is it going to be and how much power is it going to have over individuals and how much is it going to affect people's lives like ours? Like maybe
Clearly,
not yours.
it is affected at least. I think it's actually like he's at 50%. He's at 50%.
The numbers don't mean
It's
anything to me. That's not, it
Meaning
means nothing.
50% of what the,
the electorate.
Yeah, see,
oh,
I don't care what that means. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking literally about like a government and how things change and what we
Well,
can
I'm
do.
saying like on the individual level, like, these are these are all people who believe in this fascistic
Yeah,
authoritarianism that's
yeah, that's what I'm
half
saying.
like ha
Yeah,
I don't know where they are because they're not here.
yeah.
I
But
think they
like
are.
certainly not in my neighborhood.
Mhm.
But like certainly in a lot of white communities and apparently a lot of Spanish communities,
Mhm.
they're there and they're the majority even.
I don't know about that. I really don't know any of that. And I also don't even know, I don't know why the Democrats conceded so quickly. I don't know why we didn't give them at least some hell back at them. I don't know why we didn't behave like GOP. I don't know why we're not scrapping harder. I don't get any of that at all. I never will. It feels wrong. It feels uh, uh, powerless. It feels disempowering. It feels demoralizing to so many people that were fighting so hard. So I don't know, man. I don't.
I mean, and I get it. I get it. I get why you're saying everything that you're saying. I'm a pragmatist though.
Sure.
And I try to think about things, in a logical, disconnected sort of way, because that helps me get to solutions quicker.
Okay.
We can be mad all we want that they want. I am very mad, but that's not going to help us survive this. Number one. Number two, it's not going to help us resist this.
No, I don't know. Like, I grew up in a school where I was always taught, and I saw it played out many times that, like, keep to yourself, do your best, but if someone fucks with you, punch them because
I
you
agree.
have to
I
punch
agree
them
with that.
first.
I
Because
totally agree with
and you
that.
know what? The bullies are going to go, ow, I don't want to play with you anymore. And they're going to back away and it's going to be a pain in the ass. But we never punch. Like, that's what I want. I want to punch. I think the lack of like the guy insurrected. Imagine if it was a black president. Imagine if Obama had done that. It would have been military tribunal behind the scenes, boom, 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 done. But for some reason, it's like, again, the Supreme Court, we find out they're taking bribes and there's nothing we can do. Like it's this, if a Republican were in and they had decided saw that liberals were taking things, there would have been action. They would have had like every judge do some, I don't know, something would have happened. But and even if they're like, oh, it's just an executive thing, well, it doesn't matter. Like we would have had him out of the way 4 years ago. But instead, here
Speaking
we are.
of Trump's criminal
Yeah,
shit,
but it
like
should have
it's
been. It
all
should have been
it's going to be
sooner.
done now.
It should have been
It,
done. Should have been
no, I mean it
military.
is like done.
Oh yeah, that's done. But I'm just
It's
saying it should have at the time. There's no reason that should have
Yeah.
taken 4 years. He wasn't a citizen. He was acting in a military capacity. That was commander in chief. There's you could have totally gray area that and just plowed right in. There would have been a bunch of people complaining, but it would be nothing like it is now. It would have been totally wouldn't have been half the country. He did not have that support. So it's like we did this to ourselves, and I can't I don't
I
no
think
matter how practical you are, I don't abide by this what were you
I
gonna say?
don't think it was even it's even a matter of punching as much as just being like, could we just do a recount? Could we do some verification of this? Because this happened awfully quickly. I mean, it
it
went
did
from
like it was surprisingly quick,
yeah,
like across the country, like states that last time took
Yeah.
like nearly a week
Mhm.
were done in like a day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even like I heard like Philadelphia, they're like, oh, it's traditionally very slow to count
And
the
it's
vote in
like
Philly. And
Yeah,
by 3 o'clock in the morning, it was gone. It was already called.
it was weird.
And so I guess
it was weird. It was very weird.
I
Yes.
mean,
And I agree
yeah.
on that.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I would get my thing would just be that they got to have 60 court cases last time to challenge results. I think it would be at least in our best interest to say, could we just do a sample recounting of whatever? I don't know.
Before
Something
we
to verify
before
what
she
we got here.
conceived.
Yes, before you can see, can we just get some kind of verification on some of
we
these
didn't,
things?
and we didn't.
That's all I would ask for. I'm not looking for a big, like, let's take a page out of the Republican book and start, acting like jerks.
I
But
like that.
I think
I'm fine.
it is within reason
I
to ask.
understand that logic.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't think that there would be enough votes that would come out of that
Mhm.
to overcome his victory. He has like 312 electoral votes and over
Oh.
4 million more like popular votes.
Which again is fishy because they've
I mean,
never
it
won.
is
They've
fishy.
never won a popular vote
Well,
in a
once.
gazillion
Once in the
and that
21st
was
century.
and this is
Yeah.
that's fishy alone, but that's something they would totally give him because it bothered him that Hillary got more votes. So that's already weird. They had bomb threats in every swing state, but nowhere else, just the swing states. And bomb threats meant everybody had to leave. Very weird. Elon Musk was literally he's had an app, so he was watching the election somehow. Like that's fucked up. There's there's weird people are looking.
I just meant that maybe in
strange.
the recounting you'd find some irregularity that could
Something's
raise
weird.
bigger questions.
Something's weird.
Not that you're going to turn around the whole thing, but again,
what about the down ballot was not affected, but the
yeah.
Well, the
but
down ballot was very much affected.
right?
Yeah.
Weird.
Like, are you kidding me? They have
Lost everything.
they have swept.
They did. They did.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. It's like you're telling me there wasn't a turnout. Like all of the states or a lot of these states had the abortion initiatives, and
There was a turnout, and
Yeah.
in many of those states, the abortion question won out,
Yeah.
with the exception being Florida, which
Florida. Yeah.
they still had the majority. They had like 57%,
Yeah.
but they needed like 60, which is like insane.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I mean,
then you'd have to make the leap that somehow all these women that came out are voting red, which I'm sorry. No,
Seems weird.
no way. No way. I'm never going to buy that.
No.
And the fact that there was historic turnout
Right.
in so many swing states, including Georgia.
Georgia, the first couple days,
mean-
historic turnout. And then all of a sudden they're like,
there
oh,
was
it's
historic
like,
turnout here.
It was like
Yes.
plus
Yes.
10% women in
Yes.
a few of the states. I'm just like, are you?
It's
There's
just
and
fishy.
and
It's
again,
just
the
fishy,
the
man.
rallies, the
It's fishy.
half-ass rallies, the
Fishy.
campaign, which is the worst I've ever seen a person run, Trump's,
It's just
and
fishy.
Harris's campaign was the best I've ever seen.
I know it was still.
Obama and
I
Clinton.
get it. I get
Yeah.
all of these
And
arguments.
Elon Musk paying people and giving people. I mean that's not interference anyway. You're throwing money
But-
at them. I mean,
But here's the thing is even if it's just for me, it's just trying to give my countrymen a benefit of a doubt and say that they're not fascist sympathizers by and large. For me, it doesn't matter. For me, either this country can get played like that
which is bad
and that's a
enough.
bad thing.
Or
Or we're a bunch of fascist sympathizers.
Which is a bad thing as
living
well.
amidst them.
right,
And
but
that's
you'd
a bad
rather,
thing as
you'd
well.
rather think they're a little
I-
sick.
I'd rather think the best of
I
them.
am a Jew who has learned his lesson about about this country,
Mhm.
about the human people that I share this world with. I would bet on them being fascist sympathizers.
Yep.
That I would put my bet there.
But
Yeah,
again,
and
all the
that's
women
the
voting,
kind,
though.
and that's exactly.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
that I'm definitely hearing that, and it's
Either
easy in this
way.
country to just you can get by. Like if you're a certain person with a certain amount of money, certain persuasion, complexion, it's easy to just be in your bubble because that's been our whole culture. It's just like everybody just make sure you're okay with your family, and you're in your own little pod, and you'll be fine as long as you don't get
And here's how this happened.
busted.
It happened in two different ways. It happened with the advent of social media,
Right wing.
and it happened when the fairness doctrine
Oh,
was
yeah.
knocked down in the 80s.
Ding ding ding.
Those
ding.
were like the two big
And the dark
contributing
money, the
factors.
Citizens United.
United,
And
yeah.
then Citizens United being the
It's a
third
scab.
wheel on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a sequence of things. Also, the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, excuse me, the gutting of the southern state, the pre-clearance.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
also part of it. So it's a real it's over. You're right. It's over a time period that we get to this point. But yeah. So anyway, no, I definitely hear what you're saying about there is a lot in the world that can be.
Right,
But I also believe that, I'm not saying they're smart or right in
Mhm.
any way, shape, or form. I think that a lot of people also voted for him because of like inflation,
right, eggs were expensive
or
for a while there.
whatever you want to call it, 'cause it's not really inflation.
No.
Right.
Or even immigration. Like, why were we talking about immigration? Why is that all we like? It affects that's not like
How many times do
healthcare.
I have
We
to
should
tell
be talking
you?
about healthcare.
How many times do I have to tell you that there's people in power will always provide the average Joe
The
Right.
outsider. Yeah.
with their Goldstein.
It's just
Right now,
bizarre that that's the press.
it's
That's the
it's
problem with
us,
the media.
it's Arabs, it's
And that's the problem with the media is that
Latin
we
American
allow that.
immigrants.
We allowed
It's
that to be the
Haitians.
conversation, and we let it happen. We didn't fight that conversation. Well, we did, but the main media just pretended like that was a big issue constantly, where they should have been talking about other shit.
Mainstream media, again, that's the business, the corporatization
No,
of media.
And
Clicks, 'cause it
here's
gets more
why
clicks.
here's why
Gets more
this
clicks.
is
People
gonna
like hate.
fuck everybody, because these are the people that are putting food on your table.
Yeah.
That's why. You think that whoever is out there listening to that, if anybody, you think that things are bad now, that grocery
No.
prices are high now because
Yeah.
eggs are a little high because there was an avian flu.
Yep.
Wait till there aren't anybody to pick
Right.
the fruit and the
Right.
vegetables.
Right. Wait till tariffs slap. I mean, what happens to Amazon? Think about all the tariff. Think about all
Yeah,
that shit.
you think your Roomba was expensive now.
Right. Try Christmas, the PlayStation with tariffs. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's just.
You think that iPhone you got right now is expensive?
That's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just insane. It's just
there could be a conversation about making more things in America, and I believe that's a conversation that should be had.
certainly
Slapping tariffs on it is dumb.
Yeah.
super.
And that's what Biden was trying to do. It was too little, too late because of the chip manufacturing here, bringing back some of the supply.
He's going to
chains.
cancel that now.
Now he's going to cancel.
That's done. That's done.
Done. Chips
Yeah.
is done. So
Any money that we did,
insulin done.
any money that we didn't spend in Philadelphia
Yep.
prior to
That's it.
Trump taking office is
They better
done.
use it, right? What
Yeah.
about the water department? All the infrastructure we need.
All of the lead pipes that were getting repaired, all of that
sorry.
is done.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we won't have fluoride in our water, so that's good. We'll have lead because they'll cancel the. But
Thank you, Dearborn.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, by the way, the little side note, those parcel explosions, they did find that out. Reuters, Russia likely behind partial explosions, threatened U.S. Canada flights. They likely are behind. They exploded in carrier depots across Europe. Polish prosecutors said on Friday. Western officials have said that Russia has tried to destabilize allies of Ukraine, acts of sabotage. The depots were also in Britain and Germany. The plot that was aimed to trigger explosions on cargo flights ultimately to the United States and Canada. So they identified Russian intelligence services, according to Poland, anyway.
Yeah. And they've been attacking our elections. They're attacking everything. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know, the Iranians are have
Yeah,
attacked
yeah, sure.
all of our institutions,
Yeah.
the education system, the elections,
Yeah.
social media, like
And
all
there's nothing we can do because it's information, and we only see war as weapons and bombs and shit like that. So we're just like, there's nothing we can do.
Mhm.
Oh well, they're using our laws against us. Oh well.
and I want to be very clear. I am not going to advocate for 1 second any anti-Muslim policy, any anti-immigrant policy. I'm not. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be vetted when they come in, but I'm not going to, propagate, anti-Islamic, propaganda.
Mhm.
Are there bad actors and extremists in Islam? Yes. Are there bad actors and extremists in Judaism? Yes. Are there bad actors and extremists in Christianity? Absolutely. And all of them are terrifying. Though less the Jews. Less the Jews.
Mhm.
There just aren't that many of us to do anything.
Yeah, on a side note, when you were mentioning social media and how we got here as part of those steps, that the Act 230, I think it is, that gives them
Like,
they're
is it
not
230 or
liable.
231?
231 maybe, not liable for what's posted
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
platforms.
That is a big thing. That is
Yeah.
they like social media companies should be liable
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they would
for
tighten that
the
up in a
content.
heartbeat.
Absolutely.
They
And
would
so
tighten it up in a heartbeat.
government officials be liable. You shouldn't be able to.
It may not be your content, but you can moderate it.
No,
You are
yes.
the ones who own the site. Like,
Promoting
you don't
it.
have to let anti-Semitic,
No.
racist,
No.
propaganda on there. You don't
No.
have to let election lies on there. That's
No.
and it's not a First Amendment issue.
No, it's a private platform, and they should be monitoring. They should keep it, and they should be accountable
Well, I
for
mean,
people that
you've
get
also
hate crimes and shit like that.
and
They
not
need
only
spread.
and not only
So if you're not allowed to have
and it's
boobies,
and
you
it's
shouldn't be allowed to have
it's
hate.
not only a problem here, but when you see a lot of these overseas genocides going on between some of the minority populations in
Absolutely.
African countries and Far Eastern countries, it's because Meta, at least in one case I know of, didn't have the people that could speak the language. They didn't know what was being put out or what was being provocative. So it's like you guys are into ultimate growth and expanding, but you're not even giving enough localized people with
Haven't paid
local
attention to what
knowledge
you're
to
doing.
understand what's going on in those particular countries.
Yeah.
So it was just all going by,
And you don't adapt to the changing language.
no,
Right?
no.
Yeah.
The term Zionist, when I was a kid, like it was never a bad thing. Like, that's not, we defined it, and it's still very defined very clearly. But when it's being used by non-Jews now,
Right.
it's used in place of the term Jew.
Right.
Anti-Zionist is anti-Jew.
In a lot of ways, in a lot
You
of
know,
platforms. Yeah, and that's
and there are other, things like when, racists started referring
You froze,
you froze a little bit.
young black men as thugs. Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you
What'd you
guys,
say?
when racists in America started referring to young black men as thugs,
Right.
hoodlums.
Right.
These are things like if
Yes,
you're running one of these companies, like, you should be able to pick up on this
Yes.
and nip it in the bud.
And AI can do it. So
Absolutely,
don't tell us
absolutely.
that, right? Don't tell us that you need, oh, you don't have the resources. Of course you do. I can't put anything into
AI is
anything
really
into
good with slang.
right? Super good with slang.
Yeah.
Like it catches me constantly when I used to try to boost posts. Like if something looked like it might be gay, even though it wasn't gay, it was like something about rainbows or whatever. Like I got flagged because it's like, no, you have to, you can only boost this if you use your social
It's a political
statement. I'm like, what? No.
flag you have to attach.
So
to
they already do
Yeah.
that, so they have no excuse, you know? But yet they don't.
Because they don't want to, because
Obviously. They're paying
anger
for it.
anger and fear
Clicks.
drive
Yeah.
clicks.
And that's why we needed even more the moderating. That's why it's more
We
important.
need Congress to step in. Like we need Congress has to step in. They're not going to
Gonna
do
step
this
in, not these
themselves.
guys, the tech bros, and the tech bros they don't want elections. Like that literally happens. Like we're that literally this was the last election. I mean, I have people on our dog walks are like, oh, we got the midterms coming up. I'm like, I don't think you do, guys. I really don't think we do. I'd be super
It
surprised if they were
not
like that.
in the way that we traditionally think about it.
Right?
We may still have
In Russia and
actions.
Hungary and Turkey, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's not,
But it's not going to be
no,
like
no.
like legitimate.
No, or it will be only legitimate at the local level because that's all they care
Well,
about.
the other thing, like Buttigieg was saying the other day, he's like, sometimes it's not a change in policy as it is personnel.
Yep.
So whoever's in charge of regulating or overseeing these kind of things can just
And that's why it's so crazy
overlook it.
that
Yeah.
Elon Musk is going to be, I don't know what
I know.
his role is going to be, but he's supposed to have some sort of role.
Oh yeah, he's gonna sneak all
Fucking
our trillions of
JF
dollars from our budget.
Kennedy is
Health,
supposed
health.
health. The
Got
guy
the
with
worm
the
in his brain.
fucking brain
Yeah,
worm.
yeah. Health.
The guy that's got such a fucked up brain that it killed the brain worm
Yeah, that guy.
is going to be in charge of fucking health. The guy that caused multiple outbreaks of polio,
Yes,
measles,
yes,
and other diseases that were supposed to be gone
yes.
because of his anti
Vaccine
vaccine
yes,
rhetoric.
yes, and lies and making people afraid
Is
of
gonna
vaccines.
make it so that this little shithead here
He
doesn't
won't
have
need
to get
any
vaccines.
of those. And well, you'll get them, but then the
This
other kids
this
will, and
little
he'll be at risk.
these little vermins, these little germ factories are the ones that need it the most.
They do.
Yeah. I wonder, could this be just like Russia being really good at what they do and having a good sense of humor? Like, what would be better than to bring the United States not only down in an election, but also to put a bunch of clowns in like you've never seen in the Western world?
I feel like Iran and Russia both saw the way like they were destroyed, by US regular like foreign policy. And we're like, you know what?
Yeah.
That shit was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Really fuck.
Let's give him an international wedgie.
Yes.
We can't beat you militarily on the
But
battlefield.
information. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna make you look like a bunch of simps and
they're doing a great job.
bitches.
They're doing a great job.
And they are.
I got another question. It's not related to anything we've talked about, but it does go back to I don't know.
Well, ain't that some ADHD shit?
Yeah. I don't know where our intelligence community has gone, but remember when they released Stuxnet? We built that here, and that was ruining like Iranian reactors, and like, did we get out of the business of like launching our own like viruses and creating them and launching them in other countries? Like, wouldn't that be a great response to the disinformation nonsense from Moscow? Can we come up with
that would be a great response. Like,
right?
and I feel like I recall like at least a few different occasions where there were like cyber attacks on Russia, on Iran, on North Korea. Wait, does North Korea even have cyber?
It's a good question. They got, I guess they're getting nukes soon, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, they would get. That's wonderful.
yeah.
And we won't have the weather service, National Weather Service. We'll disband that. How fantastic!
That, like, that is so dumb.
Oh, weird. Well, you can
Even,
privatize it.
I
Make
mean,
money.
even I disagree with it, because I think it's, probably as dumb, but not quite as dumb would be like to privatize it.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's
I
what
don't know how you would
doesn't
profit
make
off
any
of that.
sense. Because
You
people are
know,
going to be like, well, it doesn't look good. Well, people aren't going to want to move here if we keep getting hit with hurricanes. So we'll just tell them it goes here.
I mean,
They'll Sharpie it.
They'll Sharpie it. We'll just use a Sharpie.
let's not have Trump involved with predicting hurricanes. Can we all agree on that? No Trump
Yeah.
predict hurricane
Yes,
predictions.
absolutely.
What do you want, He-Man? What do you want, Thundercat?
Can you hold that? I gotta go pee.
Oh, you're giving me the sword.
I'll be right back.
You now have a sword.
Thunder Jews, ho!
That's the netherite, so it's the strongest sword in the universe. Of Minecraft, at least.
There you go, bud.
So yeah.
So how'd you enjoy Gabe and your soldering yesterday?
Good.
Yeah, you enjoyed soldering?
I didn't even solder.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you and Gabe decided to goof off while I was showing you how to do it, huh?
What were you putting circuit boards together? What are you soldering?
We were just like, I was just demonstrating for him.
Oh, okay.
And he's gonna do whatever he saw
Oh, okay.
eventually when he's like ready, like to do it on his own.
Okay. All right.
Your head would be.
No, we were just talking.
the sword.
He's teaching him soldering.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we had to watch a bunch of safety videos. I demonstrated for him. Can you get that off of me? That is very uncomfortable.
I'm trying to put a sword so it looks cool.
That's cool. I just learned how to spell soldering.
Yeah. It's not soldiering, it's soldering.
There's an L in there. I didn't.
The in Europe they actually pronounce the L.
Oh, do they? Soldering?
Yeah.
Soldering? Soldering?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to fucking know it,
I
but
don't know.
Oh, odd. Yeah. So what other fun things are going on? Anything? You just muddled your way after the election as best you could, huh?
yeah. Pretty much.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did a couple bike rides. There was some drinking, but not a lot,
We did the haunted house thing at Eastern State. That was fun.
He's supposed to go to Eastern State sometime soon.
Ooh.
Right. Well, they won't have the Halloween thing anymore.
No, no.
This is our last
It's still
weekend.
pretty spooky though.
Oh, it's
so,
still great.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. Is it like a school trip coming up or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's fun. I like it.
Danny remembered that. I almost forgot about it.
Mm,
Yeah. That's a fun class trip to go on.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I have to teach all about it.
so anyway.
So that's it. We barely finished the paper, but that got out.
Mm-hmm.
Our artist put the cover was like, who are you gonna vote for? And we're like, dude, the election's over on the 5th. Like, this is a month paper. We don't need to be thinking about voting
Yeah.
after the first week. And now I'm
Especially
like
not
super
now.
glad.
Yeah. Ooh.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we just have a turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the brighter side of this, like
Oh.
we'll have lots of content and I'll have a reason to get back into actually reporting on things.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I think I also saw, speaking of Brightside, it was a Facebook post, so I don't know how substantiated it is, but the guy, there's an article about Parker reiterating her stance that yes, the arena's sort of a done deal as of Wednesday. But then the guy said that the some association representing the Gayborhood came out and said it would be damaging to them as well.
Ooh.
That was actually a while ago. That was a
Was
while.
it?
But
Yeah,
they,
okay.
there's a gonna there they did I did get an email that there's going to be another a demonstration on Tuesday or something.
Okay.
That was a while ago, maybe like a month ago, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
it was like a month ago
Okay.
when that was all like first coming out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I've been telling people for like a year and a half now
Yeah.
that that was going to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
That
Like,
what
I mean, I don't like it.
right. But you were like, it's
Again,
gonna
I don't
happen.
like these things, but
Yeah.
when I say them,
Mm-hmm.
like people should fucking listen.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that one and my wife. They should fucking listen when I say things. There's a universal law. I am always right. It's a universal law, like as sure as gravity
Sure as the sun will come up in
and
the
electromagnetism.
I appreciate
It is
you.
more certain than the conservation of energy in the universe.
I'm impressed by your confidence. Dazzled, shall we say.
Said every dad ever.
Yep.
Every dad and
Absolutely.
husband ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
yeah.
our plan is just to focus on keeping our nose down and keeping trying to find ways to use our skills to keep ourselves afloat and hopefully um you know when the authoritarian government takes hold, we'll be too small potatoes to be worthy of messing with, and none of our citizens here that don't like us will feel inspired to try to flag us
Hey,
before we can figure out an exit strategy.
my plan is to focus on the practical, you know, um, as far as like, you know, self-defense, encouraging everyone, you know, especially those of
What
us
would
who
that, what does
are
self-defense do? What on earth is that for? Like, what are you going to do when some guy comes at you with a billy club and a taser? Like, I don't understand.
fucking you, stop them,
I don't think
take
that's
it
going.
from them.
You're gonna stop it with the guys with guns, with the police officers go show up to you. Your
With it now with a
self-defense is
gun,
gonna.
that's what I have the crossbow for.
You can't fight against. You can't. You ever hear that? You can't fight an army. So no.
Who's fighting an army? I'm not worried about an army.
Well,
If
militia
an
even. You're
army
not gonna be.
comes, that's the time to run.
All
That is
right.
the
Well,
time to
just
skedaddle. I'm talking about the individual groups of fascistic assholes that are more manageable.
okay, well, here we go. I literally asked Chatbot, what are some, if wondering if there's anything you can tell me about how people might likely resist under such a regime. And I'd asked it what would happen since there are many different kinds of authoritarianism, what kind would likely happen in the United States, and it gave me a rundown. And it said if an authoritarian regime were to take over in the US, resistance would likely evolve in stages, adapting to the regime's tactics. The effectiveness of resistance depends on factors like the government's control, da 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 da. And then it gives effective methods of resistance. 1. Nonviolent civil disobedience, why it works, da da da. 2. Building localized support networks. 3. Decentralized organization and leaderless movements, like grassroots digital platforms and small independent cells. 4. Digital security and information sharing, that's key. 5. International solidarity and pressure. 6. Cultural resistance and art as a protest. And then they have less effective methods of resistance. 1. Violent insurrection or armed resistance. Highly
I'm not
centralized
talking
leadership
about
and
I'm
organization,
talking
reliance on
about
external military,
self-defense, not
open and
resistance.
ineffective. Well, I mean, I would put self-defense under armed resistance
No,
or
it is not.
it
Like
sounds to me.
it's if somebody punches you or tries to punch you,
Yeah, but the
you
punching,
defend yourself.
sure, but is punching really your concern in an authoritarian regime?
What did we just talk about earlier today?
That punching is the issue?
What did we just talk about what happened in Amsterdam?
Yeah, but the cops fixed that. The
No,
people.
they didn't. No, they
Well,
didn't.
I don't think you think the lesson in Amsterdam is that thank good that the people that were able to defend themselves won.
No. they couldn't defend themselves, and that was a problem.
Okay, but if they had been able to, you think that if someone has come, if it had been a more even fight, it would have been a better outcome?
I'm not saying it would have been a good, there is no good outcome
Yeah.
in that situation, but it's a better outcome than being beaten unconscious and
Right.
thrown in a river.
Right. So your way of doing that, avoiding it, is to actually give yourself the skills to further engage. Wouldn't your skills, your best bet at this point, to instead of working on skills to engage, but more like working on your flight, your hide, your strategies, your networking, that sort of stuff, as opposed to being
Yeah,
prepared to
because that
fight?
worked so well for
Well,
us
fighting doesn't work
in
well
the
either.
in the 30s
Well,
and
fighting doesn't.
40s.
Well, so,
It
but
worked so well. So well. So well.
but I'm just
And it's
saying that it
working
didn't seem to
so
you think.
well for us now.
I know, but you think the problem is people aren't punching enough, people aren't hitting enough, people are more physically defensive.
You are
Very
less likely,
interesting.
an abuser is less likely to fight somebody that can actually defend
Right,
themselves.
right. We talked about that earlier about bullying and
Then
stuff, but I
yeah,
mean, I was thinking more like figuratively, as in punching back as a resistant movement, not like,
no,
oh,
I'm
I'll
talking about
personally. So your
literal
practical idea of saving this is to look
ser-
it down to the personal and say, as long as I can defend myself here.
but it's also communal too. Like, I mean, and this is something we're probably a bit better at, is coming together as a community and defending one another, though less in the physical than,
That's it.
you know, might be necessary.
Right, right.
Like you're looking at this like I'm saying we should actively, proactively go out and, like, I don't know, like what? Like
I don't know. I guess this is.
set up
Yeah, this isn't
like
that's
front
how but
lines?
I was just thinking
Like
that
what
like
I
the
mean,
like I can't imagine how that would, like, you're saying you would everyone to get self-defense because that's a key. And to me, that doesn't feel like something I want to do at all. I don't feel like that's going to help me. If I go and take a self-defense class, I don't feel that is where my I'm frightened, or that is where I feel threatened. And
well, you're also threatened on differently than I am.
sure. But you just said you thought that everyone should take, you were recommending
I
taking
would recommend that
defense.
for everyone because especially, women, like, this is a fucking sick world we live
Oh
in.
yeah, sure.
Like, I would much rather see women able to defend themselves against the pieces of shit out there that want to harm them.
Right, but that's like tasers, or you can have spray, you can have a gun.
Yes, you can have those things. I'm also not an advocate of killing people.
Right. Well, tasers don't kill people, not
No,
necessarily.
but they can also harm you.
They
Like, I
can,
have
they can.
seen
The weapons will be
people
used against you. And I've seen
accidentally
pepper spray
tase
too.
themselves.
Yes, and then pepper spray too. Those are bad,
Pepper spray is notorious.
right? Everyone's just, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless you're somebody who has like experience with pepper spray or CS gas or something like that and can fight through it,
Hmm.
like, I wouldn't.
Right.
Not, no way. Like, because that's right in your own
It's
face.
gonna, yeah, you can't control it. It's a vapor, it's an aerosol, so it's pretty much it's a
But you know what you can
non-instantaneous.
control? You can control your own body
Mm,
in the sense that, like, when somebody throws a punch out of it, you can know how to move and, counter that. If somebody grabs you, you can know how to, ungrab yourself and throw them. You can,
that
learn
stuff
how
takes a
to
lot of
snap
practice,
somebody's
though.
arm.
Yeah, as someone who's taken a self-defense class here and there, I'm gonna have to say that that stuff is like dog training. Like if you just take a class in it,
And
you
I'm
don't
not
know what
saying
you're
do
doing.
that. That's stupid.
But
That's
but you
not
need to
learning
practice it.
self-defense.
But you need to
That's
practice it.
You're
And
right.
but I'm just saying, like a lot, you take a class and like I don't even remember any of the shit I learned. Like I know I've had one a couple years ago, but I don't
Okay,
remember any of that.
that's the problem. You took a
That's what I'm
class.
saying. So it's like it's impractical to ask everybody to like commit themselves to a self-defense class to that they're going to have to practice, they're going to have to develop. There's
How
gotta
many,
be a
how
better
many, how
way.
many
Like, to
people out
me,
there are committed to like doing Pilates or yoga?
again, but you
Or
need
I
other
don't
things
even
you can
know.
do.
I don't
You
even know
need
like what other
sparring partners to
thing.
actually do it.
Soul cycling.
Right, but soul cycling you can do on your own bicycle, but you need sparring partners and shit. Like, it's much more cut to. I have a hard time on any platform going, hey, a good place
I
to
don't.
start
I
is
don't.
learning
I don't always.
self-defense, because
I don't
that's just to
always.
me like a.
I don't always practice with a partner.
That-
Like they.
I don't say you have to always, but I'm just saying it's harder than a lot of people seem to think. Oh, you take a class, it'll be fine, and it's
You
a
should.
lot harder than it looks. I
It,
have.
it is. It is,
I
and that's kind
have.
of the
I don't know
point.
any of that. I remember the twisting. My brother used to touch. I remember there's things to do, but I don't know what those things are. And I totally don't trust myself to ever do them in a stressful situation.
Because you
I
didn't
think people
actually
should learn
train.
more
You
evasive
took.
tactics.
You
People
didn't
should learn
train.
more
You took a
conflict
class.
management, how to spot lunatics. Like, that's the stuff we should be learning.
You didn't train. You took a class.
But that's what I'm saying. But you said everyone take that. It's just we're just
I said
throwing
everyone
stuff
should
there.
train.
Jesus.
Steve's like not just scroll. He's doom scrolling
Yeah,
sports
just,
and
yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
I think this is our. All right.
Yeah. Everyone carry on as they see fit. Ugh.
We'll figure our way through it.
We'll muddle through
Indeed,
somehow.
indeed,
as
yep.
they
And
say.
hopefully by next week we'll all be a little more funny again.
Yeah, that'll
Indeed.
happen.
Yeah.
He's been strangely silent this past week.
Yeah, because he's cheated. Sorry, I'm not gonna get into that. All right.
All right.